With my incredible, lovely, and talented wife, Kay, we have been able to do this work on behalf of children. However, as you know, this is our 15th anniversary, and a concept is just a concept, thank you, until it takes form, and to take form requires more than one person. So I want to take just 2 minutes of your time, and I want to introduce you to 4 people I call angels. These are the people who at the very beginning, when the concept was just a germ of an idea, they came forward, they gave of their fortune, their time, their energy, their commitment, so that you all could be here tonight honoring these great honorees. I'm going to introduce them, each one briefly, ask them to stand. I would ask that you hold your applause until they are all standing. First of all, I would like to introduce Dr. Arlen Ness. Arlen Ness was the first person to listen to this crazy guy from Columbus, Ohio at the time, with a crazy idea and buy into it. He has given selflessly of his time, his talent, his early leadership, because I knew nothing about running a not-for-profit, and he was running Star Commonwealth, one of the most fabulous organizations that deals with abused children in the world. For all of his early leadership, Arlen is now our Chairman Emeritus. Arlen, will you please stand up? Please remain standing. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Dale Hollinsworth. Dale works for the Kroger Company, and in the early days of the world of children, when things were tumultuous and tempestuous, I dare any of you to say that 15 times fast, even you, Alina. Dale came forward, and he helped us keep this thing together through some very difficult times. He rescued us more than once, and we would not be here without his largesse, his time, and him putting his company firmly behind us. He had an unwavering commitment, and he still does. Ladies and gentlemen, Dale Hollinsworth. Please remain standing, Dale. Next is a man that I honestly and genuinely call my brother. His name is Leon Harris, and at this time, Leon is the news anchor at WJLA-TV in Washington. Year one, when we didn't know anybody and didn't have an audience like this, we went to an agent and they asked us to hire Leon Harris as our MC for $10,000. So we did, and Leon came to the event. At the end of the day, I gave him his check for $10,000. He proceeded to tear it up and hand me the pieces. And he said, "I cannot take your money for doing this work, and as long as you keep doing it, I will be by your side." And he has been, every step of the way, every year. Leon. The next person I saved for last for a very important reason. His name is Joe Stewart. Shortly after Arlen was introduced to this concept, he said, "I think you need to meet this guy up at Kellogg who's a senior vice president of the Kellogg Company. He might be interested in what you have to say." So I prepared this incredible presentation. I went up to visit Joe Stewart. I sat before him and I made this presentation. He sat there very stoically. And when I was finished, he looked at me and he said, "Son, I have one criticism." And I thought, oh, heck, here it comes. Another rejection. And he looked me square in the eye and he said, "You're thinking too small." How many times have any of you trying to sell anything or give anybody a notion of an idea heard somebody say, "You're thinking too small"? And with that, Joe made a commitment on behalf of the Kellogg Company for years of support. He gave us the funding we needed to get going and to stay going through all the early years, and he and his wife Clara have continued to be financial supporters at a very significant level ever since. Joe Stewart is really the godfather, in the best sense of the word, of the world of children. Joe? Ladies and gentlemen, 4 angels that we would not be here tonight without. It took their vision to make this all happen. One more housekeeping detail, and then I have just a few closing remarks. On your way out the door tonight, you have the opportunity to get a book free of charge provided by Simon & Schuster. This book was written by one of our past honorees, a youth honoree, Talia Lemon, whose father is here tonight. It's called A Random Book About the Power of Anyone, and it is now the bestseller on the Times bestseller list for how-to books. And we are proud to give you an autographed copy free on your way out the door, and it shows what happens to our honorees after they are recognized here. So please pick one up. My friends, this is a time of great significance in the world. The European Union is struggling to save a currency they thought had put them on the right track. In the Middle East, the Arab Spring raised hopes that this part of the world was now on the right track. And here in the USA, we are facing a presidential election to determine if we stay on one track or move to another track. But Will Rogers is the only one who got it right in 1924 when he said, even if you are on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about tonight. My wife introduced several past honorees. I believe there are 8 of them here in the audience today. And I just want you to look around and see them, plus the new ones this year. And I want you to realize these people are not sitting on the tracks waiting to get run over. Every day, they are working as fast as they can to grab hold of one little child at a time, one little hand at a time, and lead these children to hope. These people are not content with life as it is for children. They are busy every day fashioning a new life for a child, one little hand at a time. The great playwright Eugene Ionesco wrote, "Ideologies separate us, but dreams bring us together." And so tonight, as we close this 15th anniversary celebration, I want to ask each of you to take a moment and dream with me. Let's dream that tomorrow, just a few dozen children, just a few dozen, might be able to go to school for the first time. Dream with me that as the holidays approach, maybe a few hundred children, just a few hundred, might be able to eat one nourishing meal a day. Let's close our eyes and dream that a year from now, when we all come back together, we can celebrate that maybe a few thousand children have been given the hope of freedom from the indignity of slavery. If we dream together, we cannot be stopped. We will succeed. On August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King stood before a throng in Washington, and he dreamed too. He said, quote, he hoped that we would be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope, end quote. My friends, we here in this room, we have the tools in our hands to fashion that stone of hope. And I know the problems facing children around the world are legion. You can throw up your hands and get into vapor lock, and you can do nothing. But nothing is not good enough. We can't allow ourselves to think that way. We here in this room, we have a sacred duty. It was described for us in the Declaration of Independence. Quote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed with their Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." So tonight, I ask you to dream with me here tonight, commit with me here tonight, that one little hand by one little hand, one little heart by one little heart, we will fulfill that sacred duty given to us by our forebears: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness for every child we can reach. So as you leave here tonight, consider this. You can purchase another key, 2 keys, 5 keys. Maybe there's somebody here who would like to purchase 100. I don't know. But if you do, we will go forward together and we will fulfill Dr. King's pledge to fashion a stone of hope so that children everywhere, one hand at a time, one heart at a time, can have a true and hopeful future. Thank you very much. Thank you.